Welcome to my multiverse. Welcome to Rayclast. My name is Menschweet, and in this video I will be talking about currency and making some money in Path of Exile. So let's get started and have a look at some of the currency items in the game. You can see here on the left side a selection of most of the currency items used, and especially those that you find rather often in trades, excluding these two, because they're just in for having a measurement of value. So orbs of transmutation are the least valuable, exalted orbs are the most valuable, so this is a hierarchy of sorts of currency. So we exclude these two because orbs of transmutation and augmentation are rather rarely traded at all. Most of the time all you find are all you need. So let's talk about the rest. Orbs of alterations are in actually a rather high demand, because you need them for rolling maps, crafting, rolling your flasks, so they are destroyed a lot in the economy, so they are in rather high demand. But they are, at the same time, they drop very frequently, and you get a lot of them while vendoring identified rare items. So they're not that hard to get to, so they're not worth that much, but they are actually sought after, so you can trade with them. You can pay people in alterations very often. Then we have jeweler and chromatics, which are frequently bought directly from players because they need them to get more sockets on their item and get the right color of sockets. The same is true for fusings. Fusings are needed a lot for linking items, and they are rather hard to get by. Alchemies, a little bit sought after, but not that much. There are not so many situations where you need to make items simply from normal to rare. Maybe maps, but in the other cases it's not that much of a deal. And chaos for rerolling rare items can be used for crafting, especially maps, or if you're just hoping to get lucky with a good item. And orbs of regret for the occasional refund point is also nice. Regal and GCP are not so much demanded, but are actually really quite rare. And exalted orbs are the highest of the commonly traded currency items. So you get the idea, and they're ordered for their value, and that means the basic units are chaos and exalted. And I would say chaos is the most basic currency unit. So you can say that one chaos equals about 2 fusings and about 2 or 3 alchemies. That is, especially the 2 fusings are quite safe to say always. And between 16 to 20 alterations are 1 chaos. The ratio between chaos and exalted orbs is actually changing a lot, somewhere between 30 and 50 most of the time. Regal and GCP are about 1.5 chaos, so let's say safely between 1 and 2 chaos most of the time. Orbs of regret are about equivalent to chaos. And jeweler and chromatics are a little bit less worth, which I will show you in a second. And if you want to know the exact ratios, there are some sites on the internet that list them, but they're not very accurate most of the time. The best way to know how much the ratios are is by talking to people, looking at the trade chat, which you can activate by simply activating it here and then switch by trade 1, let's say, to trade channel 1. And there you will see at least a lot of people telling you some ratios sometimes, especially not now, but well. So GCP 2.5 chaos each, you get the gist. So there you can find what people actually believe is the correct ratio, and then you can always haggle about it, so no big deal. But there are some ratios that are rather fixed, and I will show you now. And you can have a look at the vendor. And you can trade almost all basic items for another. So you can buy transmutations for portal scrolls, You can buy then augmentations for transmutations, then alterations for augmentation, and so on and so on. And so you get the idea that we talked about 16 alterations, 16 to 20 alteration are one chaos. And this is also true because 2 alterations are 1 jeweler, and then again 4 jeweler are 1 fusing. So that means 8 alterations are a fusing. That means 2 fusing a chaos is about 16 alterations for a chaos. And you can always orient yourself on this ratios. They're very safe to use.
Be careful.
Then there was the topic of vendor recipes. I will link the Wikipedia site with the vendor recipes in descriptions below. But basically, there are a couple of recipes that are very, very useful. For one, a 6-socketed item, no matter what rarity, is always worth 7 jeweler, which is rather nice. These kinds of items with a chromatic link you can sell for exactly 1 chromatic, so you get a lot of chromatics, which is really nice. And there is this recipe of one of a kind. So you give a full set of items, 1 for each slot. 1 2-handed weapon is enough, or 2 one-handed, or 1 hand plus shield. So both are 2-handed weapons. And if the lowest item level from all of these items is 60 or higher, you get a chaos. If it's below 60, you actually get a chance orb. If it's above 75, if it's 75 or above, then you get a regal orb. If all of these items are unidentified or have 20 quality, I mean the items that can have quality, then you get 2 of the kind. If they're unidentified and have quality, you get 3. So that is a very easy way to get chaos orbs or chance orbs or regal orbs. But for most people it's an easy way to farm chaos orbs. So now we made a chaos and a chromatic with just a little bit of junk we picked up. So I recommend, for clarity, it's about the item level, not the level you need to use the item. So item levels, I'm on normal, let's jump to merciless. For the item level, you can think about it this way. There's always a monster level in every zone in Path of Exile, and this is actually the lowest item level you can drop there. So in the city of Zaun on Merciless, all items dropped are item level 61, unless they are dropped by a magic pack, then they're level 62, or by a unique or rare monster, then they are 63. So you can just pick up everything that's rare in these areas and collect it. Everything that's good you can sell for real money. Everything that's garbage you pick up and vendor it, but always keep in mind to collect sets to get a chaos. Or if you have enough armor and weapon scraps, then just make them quality and get 2 chaos. So I hope this helped getting some money. You won't get super duper rich by this, but you can get a steady income and you can get good gear after a little bit of farming. To get super rich, you need the big value drops, and with this I wish you luck getting those drops and have fun in Rayclast.